ఆఫ్రికా వీడి భారత్ వైపేగే ఆది మానవ మహాభారతం ఇది మహాభారతం.
Namaste to everyone. So a very grand welcome to this weekend's Mahabharat. Yes, now we entered the fourth weekend of our Mahabharat series, and in that, as we have started Indian history series, this is our third weekend lecture of Indian history. And yes, in the first Indian history class, we have discussed about the topic, how did universe come into existence? Yes, so if you are new to this series and if you have not watched them, I please humbly please I will refer to them normally just for one minute, so that you can get an understanding of what we have discussed till now. Because this is a continuous series, you have to have a small knowledge about the past classes. So we have discussed how did the universe come into existence. We have discussed different theories like Big Bang theory, like whole age theory, and lot many other theories which explain the formation of stars, the formation of planets, and the formation of solar system per se. So this was our first class, and after that, in the last weekend, we have discussed the topic, how did life come into existence on this beautiful planet Earth. Yes, so now just small recap of 1 minute about the last class. Because this is a continuous class, we should have that recapitulation. In the last class, we have discussed that what was the condition of Earth when it got formed around 4.6 billion years ago. It was too barren, it was too rocky, no water, there is no living system. That was the condition of Earth. From there, our Earth started its journey, and now it became a very green corridor, a very beautiful green corridor, life supporting planet in the complete universe. And we stopped, actually we stopped the lecture where first human was evolved around 10,000 years ago, right? The modern human, that was Homo sapiens sapiens. Actually, Homo sapiens were the predecessors of the so-called modern man of Homo sapiens sapiens. So now today in this class, yes, so this we have discussed, and in this class we are going to discuss a very important and very very interesting topic. Sir, please listen. Till now we have studied the physical material formation, until in the last class we have studied the biological material formation, right? So physical material and biological material formation, we have studied them and understood well. So life started in the ocean. Blue green algae is the first ancestor of us, and from there photosynthesis process started. For 1 crore years it went on, for 100 crore years it went on. And then because of the photosynthesis, a lot of oxygen added in the atmosphere, and that went to the creation of a beautiful biosphere, right? Which facilitates the living organisms to sustain. So from unicellular organisms we have discussed the different soft-bodied multicellular arthropods have come up. Arthropods. And from them we have discussed the evolution series in the last class. That how first terrestrial plants came out from the ocean and how they colonized the terrestrial land, we have discussed. And after that we also studied that amphibians got evolved from the arthropods, and from amphibians we have studied reptiles got evolved. And after the reptiles, when reptiles were confined to the terrestrial land, unlike amphibians which were both residing in the oceans and terrestrial land. So from after these reptiles got evolved and became dominant on the terrestrial land, there was a sudden change in the global climate, we have discussed. So ice age normally. So because of the effect of this global climate change, normally this evolution got disrupted, and suddenly we saw the coming up of a new species called as dinosaurs. Yes, So in the Miocene period, in the last weekend, I have explained it. So from 20 crore years ago to around 6 crore years ago, we have seen the dinosaurs era. And after that, we understood that from reptiles, the evolution again continued after that. Once the global glacial period, ice age has completed, once dinosaurs were extinct, we have seen for the first time the formation of, the creation of, the evolution of mammals. The small mammals like rats, mice, they have come up, we have discussed. And after that, rabbits and hares have come up. And from there, here starts our actual lecture. And today's topic that we are going to discuss is how actually modern man has evolved. Modern man. Why did modern man evolve, first of all? And how? What were the conditions which facilitated for the creation of this modern man? And also we will discuss in this lecture from actually where on this world map we are discussing modern man has evolved. But where? In India? In some other country, or where the first modern man evolved. So that we are going to see today. And how, if modern man was evolved somewhere, if not in India, when did they come, when did they reach India, and when actually, who are the first settlers of India? Who are the first settlers of India? Because this is the series of Indian history, we have to know first who came to India. Before a human species entered India was just a geographical land. We cannot call it as a country. We cannot call it as, even a region. It was just a geographical land without any habitation of human species. So when did first human came to India? This is we are going to see today. Yes, now we will start. See, at 3 crore years ago from now, as we have studied, after the evolution of small mammals, after the evolution of rabbits and hares, I said in the last weekend, in the last class, that at 3 crore years ago, we have seen for the first time the evolution of anthropoid apes. Right? Anthropoid apes means they were almost looks like human, but they lack, even they also lack the tail. But there will be some distinctive differences between humans and them. They are like a very, very old ancestors from which humans got evolved. What are they? What are the anthropoid apes at 3 crore years ago? I am saying chimpanzees, gorillas, baboons. So these were the these were called as the great ape ancestry. So they got evolved. And by this time, by this 3 crore years period, you can see there was already, because of the warm age, after the ice age, where dinosaurs got extincted, after that mammals started because of the warm age. So because of the fruits of this warm temperature, huge plentiful rainfall has occurred on this earth. When warm age arrived, because of the warm temperatures, all the gaseous atmosphere got condensed. It went up and it condensed there, and a huge hydrological cycle rate has improved. For example, because of the high temperatures, oceans started evaporating water with high pace, and the moment evaporation rate has increased, condensation, that means formation of the clouds, was increased, and because of the increase in the formation of clouds, raining has increased. So because of this rain, vegetation has increased on the earth. So if you see, by 3 crore years ago, there was huge vegetation, huge thick dense forests were already there. In this scenario came up the anthropoid apes. So the main characteristics of these anthropoid apes, if you see, most of them are actually, they have 4 limbs. These two are called as 4 limbs, and our legs are actually called as the hind limbs. So normally they use 4 of them for mobilization, for locomotion, because they never came out of trees. All these anthropoid apes, because of this huge thick dense forest which were already there because of the warm age fruits, they were completely adapted to this tree hanging habit. Tree hanging habit. That means they never came down. For example, if you see today monkeys, you will see monkeys will always stay on the trees and they will hang to them, and the fruits of them, the fruits of the trees will become the food to them. So they never came onto the land. Their habitat is completely tree. We call those organisms which live on the trees are as arboreal organisms. That is arboreal way of living. Arboreal way of living. That is not terrestrial way of living. So that is how these anthropoid apes were living actually at 3 crore years ago. Now let's see, how did actually modern man evolve, and why did he evolve? Under which conditions he born? Let's see. See, when this was happening, when they were, very happily, jumping from the trees here and there, and just they are habitating, these anthropoid apes, chimpanzees, gorillas, etc. Suddenly, after around 2 crore years ago, if you see, there was a global climate change again. That was again the anticipation of what? The ice age has come. See, this cycle will go on. Ice age, warm age, ice age, warm age. For thousands of years they will last, and once the ice age completed, warm age will come. And once the warm temperatures prevailed for some thousands of years, again ice age will prevail. Why this change happened? Major global change happens. See, understand it like this. Our earth is in solar system. So let's imagine this as sun and this as earth. So our earth is revolving around the sun, right? Our earth is revolving around the sun throughout the year. In the half year it revolves half orbit, and in the again next half of the year it will revolve around next half of the orbit. So in this revolution, normally you can observe, when Earth's position was here, the distance between Earth and Sun will be more. And when it comes to here, normally, because our Earth's orbit is elliptical in nature, it is not circular to be equal distance from everywhere. It is elliptical in nature. That means these two ends, when Earth comes here and again reaches here, the distance between Earth and Sun is more. But when the Earth is here in this position or here, in these two positions, if you see, Sun is too closer to the Earth. So it is too normal to understand and expect that naturally over some thousands of years, when the Earth's position was actually more so distanced from Sun, cooler temperatures will prevail normally. Why? Because sun's heat will be less. The effect of the impact of sun's heat will be less on this because of this distance. So normally cool temperatures will prevail in the on the earth. That we call as cold age. That we call as ice age. That we also call as the glacial period, when earth was too distanced itself from sun in the orbit. But when earth was too closer to the sun, higher temperatures will prevail because of this very nearest distance to the sun. That will leads to warm temperatures. So normally this cycle will go on for maybe with the frequency of some thousands of years. So when these chimpanzees, when these gorillas and baboons, when these species have come up at around 3 crore years ago, they have lived happily for around some 2 crore years ago. 2 crore years. So then, when 2 crore years ago from now started, the same global arrival of ice age has started again. Ice age. So now you can imagine, in the ice age, normally what conditions will prevail? In the ice age, evaporation rate will be very less. Oceans will not evaporate the water more, because only in high temperatures evaporation will be more. Because evaporation rate is very less, this atmosphere will not receive huge gas, huge water vapor, as unlike in warmer periods. So normally the clouds formation will be less, normally the rains will be less. So this is the vicious cycle which actually exists in the ice age period. Because there were less rains, you can expect that the vegetation will be less. The so-called thick dense forest which were actually there for chimpanzees, baboons, and gorillas, which were happily residing and habitating an arboreal way of living, now got started reducing. The thick forest, they got reducing. The density of the forest got lessened, and lot many forests are now becoming deserts. Lot many forest areas are now becoming deserts. But the species, see, always remember, any living species will always continue its reproduction. That's one of the main important biological activity. As the number of individuals in species of these chimpanzees, gorillas was increasing, normally the demand on the food, that is the fruit vegetation, what they eat, they eat fruits and vegetables normally, which were the product of trees on which they are residing. So now that food became too scarce. Suddenly the number of species, the number of individuals of these chimpanzees within the species have become more, but the food availability for the arboreal way of living, that is living on the trees, it was now become impossible. The food availability became too scarce. That means competition is involved. Competition was induced between the individuals of these chimpanzees and gorillas. So they were competing each other for that very scarce food. They are competing each other. So now some section, a part of these chimpanzees and gorillas, they actually thought not to compete with the remaining chimpanzees, but they thought to search for an alternative way of living. This is called as adaptation. So please listen, this is very, very important. How humans got evolved, you will understand very clearly. If you listen, then only you will understand. If you miss even one point, you will naturally miss the under taste, under sweetness you will miss. So now some section of the chimpanzees got thinking for alternative way of food, for some alternative way of living. So they came off the trees first of all. So that means they stopped the arboreal way of living and they came onto the land. Till now chimpanzees were actually sitting on their hind limbs on the trees and using these 2 forelimbs for hanging. But now when they came onto the terrestrial land, these 4 limbs actually were quadrupedalism. We call this as quadrupedalism for chimpanzees and gorillas. They walk on the four limbs. Naturally they use 4 limbs more because they have to only hang and jump here and there. They just use hind limbs for sitting, that's all. But some section, because of this huge competition and reduction of the forest, as some section got out of the forest and started searching for food on the terrestrial land, now there is a necessity. Now there is, sir, please important, listen. Now there is a necessity to this section which was divided from those chimpanzees for using at least 2 limbs of their for some other activity other than walking. Why? Because you can see their food on the trees, food was readily available, but here on the land food was not readily available. For example, nuts will be there under the ground. Sometimes they have to pluck them out. So this necessity of some extra organs actually created a cause for natural evolution of the already existing organs. Let's see how it happened. So now this section of the chimpanzees and gorillas which started living on the terrestrial land, they started using the 4 limbs of them, the 4 limbs of them for plucking out the food, for using as a tools, for having to fix the tools, to cut the leaves, etc. That means other than walking, they started using these 2 limbs for some other activity, for food gathering, let's say, food gathering. So over some millions of years this happened. So naturally what happens when they stopped using these 2, the hind limbs now became the main predominant organs for the locomotion, and these 2 are actually stripped off with the responsibility of walking, and now these 2 are only using for what? Food gathering. This change was happened in the section of chimpanzees which came onto the terrestrial life. So this was happening. Now we are at some 2 crore years to around 50 lakh years. This is 20 lakh years. This is what happening. Till now human ancestors were not developed. This is chimpanzees. Let's remind you, chimpanzees are now, slowly started using these two limbs for some other work. That means quadrupedalism is now about to become bipedal. Bipedal organisms. Bipedalism used to evolve. That's we will see how it happens. So now at 20 lakh years ago, now we are at 20 lakh years ago from now. From 3 crore years ago to 20 lakh years ago, this was happening. The change of arboreal way of living of chimpanzees, that is apes, to terrestrial living, and the shifting of responsibility of four limbs for locomotion to some other food gathering activities. Please, this is important. This is the crux. So at around 2 lakh years ago from now to around 50 lakh 2 crore years ago to around 50 lakh years ago, for the first time, these two forelimbs of the chimpanzees now became hands. That means over some millions of years, because these are only used by the chimpanzees for food gathering, now they naturally adapted. As the reproduction process going on, generations and generations of chimpanzees are coming up, naturally they became now hands. Now they stopped completely using these four limbs for walking. They are only sufficient enough, sustained enough by the hind limbs for locomotion. So at 20 lakh years ago, at around 2 crore years ago from now to 50 lakh years ago, this was the change happened, major change happened. So always remember, till now human species have not come up, as I have said. Now at this juncture of 2 crore years to 50 lakh years ago, when the chimpanzees forelimbs became hands, there was a section of the chimpanzees now separated, branched off biologically from the remaining chimpanzees, and they evolved as earliest human species. So when hands got formed, when bipedalism was started, from quadrupedalism, four-legged walking, to bipedalism, when this shift was happened, that was the starting of Homo species. So when did the first Homo species come up in this timeline? It came up around from 2 crore years ago to 50 lakh years ago. In between that, this branching of apes of humans from chimpanzees and gorillas. So this is the reason we say that chimpanzees and gorillas and baboons, they were the ancestors of very earliest ancestors of human beings. Understood? Now, the first human species started. What is human? The evolved chimpanzee, which is using the four limbs for some other activity, maybe tools collection, food gathering, etc., rather than walking. And it is only sustained and even walking. It is using only hind limbs for the walking. So the bipedalism oriented organism, which was evolved from chimpanzees, which are quadrupedal in nature, is called as the Homo sapiens, human being. Now, see, when did actually this debate have come up? When did this debate have come up? That, where did actually this first evolution of Homo species happened? First evolution of Homo species, this branching off of this humans from chimpanzees. Where did this happen? This is a very curious question, right? So when this debate has come up, actually in the world stage, now we are studying these because of the presence of evidence that we have. But for the first time in around 1800s, when, as I have already told, when industrial revolution was started, when scientists were looking over these facts and evidence, they are looking over everything: biology, science, physical science, biological science, astronomy. Every science discipline has started growing. In the 1859, sir, very important, please listen. In the 1859, this 1859 year is actually the revolutionary year in biological sciences. Please remember, this is very important year. So in the 1859, there was a scientist who went to Australia who went to Australia on some, anthropological work, and there he researched the fossils which were there. He researched there, and he published two books. So that scientist actually published two important books. Those two books became revolutionary books in the complete humanity itself. In the complete human world, those two books became revolutionary in nature. So what are those two books? The first book is The Origin of Species. So you might have understood. Who is that? Charles Darwin. So all these debates, actually, where did first human have evolved? From which species this human species has branched off. All these questions have come after the publishing of this book. That is, Origin of Species is the book which was written by Charles Darwin. He published it in 1859. Then in the world scientific community, all these debates started. All these debates like, from which species for the first time human species have come up? This question. From chimpanzees they have come up. Now we understood just before that. Now second question is that what is the geographical location at which the human species actually evolved and branched off from the chimpanzees? So for this, when this debate has going on, there were many researchers. They were doing their own specific style of researching, and at the last, the conclusion. Today, if you see the conclusion, the scientific community consensus based conclusion was this. That is, the first Homo species, the first Homo sapiens actually evolved in where? Africa. Africa is the motherland of everyone. Indians, Europeans, Australians, New Zealanders, everyone. Africa is the motherland of humanity. So the first Homo species has evolved, branched off from chimpanzees and gorillas in Africa. Now scientists started thinking that why only Africa? Why actually this Homo species started in Africa? So this was the important question to be understood. Why? Let's listen. Very important and very interesting. Listen. Why not in India? Homo sapiens should have been actually, we would be very happy to know that if they have evolved here, right? We used to tell to the world that we are the earliest people, etc. But why in Africa only human species have come up? There were some scientific reasons to that. I'll tell you some reasons. Some reasons. They are not complete reasons, but they might be some reasons. They also might be some of the reasons contributing to that life. See, the position of Africa, if you see, position of Africa, please do refer to map after this class. The position of Africa continent is, first of all, it is completely surrounded by ocean. The complete continent is surrounded by ocean. Perhaps after America, if you see, after America, Africa was the only continent which was completely surrounded by ocean. Completely, almost, except the very small portion of northeast, complete Africa was surrounded by oceans. So we know by logic, first life was actually evolved where? In oceans itself. So there might be higher chances that when these amphibians evolved from, arthropods or ocean living insects, maybe these amphibians first entered Africa itself. From oceans, that may be the first nearest terrestrial land to enter. So that may be the first reason. And the second reason was, if you see the climate of Africa, actually equator divides Africa into two equal halves. If you see that equator, 0 degree temperature, the 0 degree latitude divides the Africa into two equal halves. What is the significance of this? From 23 and of north latitude, that is Tropic of Cancer, to 23 and of south latitude, that is Tropic of Capricorn. In between these two latitudes, normally this climate is called as tropical climate. Understood? From 23 and of, that is between the two tropics, the climate is called as tropical climate. So African most of the African countries actually lies in the tropical climate. Tropical climate. Even India, even Indonesia and even South American countries, there were some countries which lies on the same tropical climate. So why not in Indonesia life started? Why not in South America? Not just one condition is needed. It is only, it is not sufficient to form the life. Only having tropical climate doesn't mean life has to be started, right? There must be complete meeting of all the qualified factors, then only life will start evolve. That's a very random process. That happened in Africa. So tropical climate, why if tropical climate exists, how can it be related to life formation? Let's see like this. This is sun and this is earth. Normally if you see, earth will be like almost like a sphere, and earth, the equator will pass through the center, equator. So the most bulging portion of the earth you will see, equator will pass through that bulging portion normally, right? So this is a sphere, just imagine it as earth, and on this earth you will see the bulging portion, that will be the equator normally. So to the sun, if you see, what is the nearest point on the earth's surface, whether it is equator or some other points in the upper portion or the southern portions, it is equator which is nearest to the sun and direct to the sun. And all these upper latitudes and lower latitudes, actually they are inclined to sun, but this equator is straight and it is very near to the sun. That is the reason the temperature from sun, the sunlight, the heat energy will directly impact a lot about the regions of equator. So normally, because Africa was equator was cutting the Africa in two halves, tropical climate, huge warm temperatures normally exist around the equator region, that is around the African countries. So because of this high temperature effect, because of the sun's high direct to overhead lights, direct to overhead rays, normally you will see all the surrounding oceans will evaporate heavily. Yes or no? Because of the higher heat temperature. So this evaporation rate got increased, and that will lead to rains. And because the rains will come, because of the rains we will see a lot of vegetation will be there. Because of that, lot of photosynthesis will happen. So naturally you can imagine tropical climate will be the homeland for a lot of biological activity mechanism, photosynthesis process, creation of oxygen, lot of vegetation will come because of the rains. So normally tropical climate is so conducive, so tempting for the creation of the life. So this might be the second reason for the creation of Homo sapiens. That means very recent evolution, very earlier evolution of Homo sapiens in Africa only. And the third reason, if you see, maybe at some other places also human species might have evolved, maybe in China or India, some other places, even in India we don't know. But the traces of them, but the environmental conditions of them might not be suitable for them to continue. Maybe they have extincted, we don't know. Only we might be having the fossils of Africa preserved. So that might also be one of the reasons. So at the conclusion was that Homo species, the first earlier Homo species at around 2 crore years to 50 lakh years, in between that around 50 lakh years, the first earlier human ancestor was evolved, branched out from the apes in Africa. In which region of Africa? Very specifically to say, this evolution of Homo species from chimpanzees happened around the regions of first Tanzania. You can look after world map, that is Africa map. Tanzania, Ethiopia, Kenya. These are the three countries of Africa in which most of the old fossils of humans existed. And I will tell you one reason. One important interesting fact, that the ancestral mother of complete humanity, we call them as, there was one fossil, the most earliest human fossil that we found in Africa in these regions, it was named as Lisa. It was named as Lisa. So this Lisa fossil was female. So this Lisa female fossil was actually considered as the mother of humanity, because it was the now found earliest fossil of human species. So this Lisa fossil is actually the mother. African's Lisa was the mother of complete humanity. Very interesting, right? So now, around 50 lakh years ago, this branching was happened. So what were the first species before Homo sapiens have come? There were some predecessors. In the Homo family itself, there were some predecessors before sapiens have come. So what were they? There were 4 predecessors normally. The first Homo species that have come, once quadrupedalism, chimpanzees, apes became bipedalism, hominins. Hominins means the family of Homo genes. So when they become bipedalism, we start that as hominins, that is humans. The first Homo species which came in Africa was Australopithecus afarensis. So this was the first Homo species, predecessors. It was not human being per se, the most ancestral, we can say. After this came Homo habilis. Homo habilis is that means even in Homo habilis also you can say they were most short people. They are almost like we normally say pygmies, right? Yeah, I don't know, maybe the term pygmies. I hope I can remember. I can recall it correctly. Pygmies. Yes. So they were too short. Homo habilis. After the Homo habilis, from them evolved a new species called as, for the first time, the very recent Homo, before Homo sapiens, very relevant to Homo sapiens. That species is Homo erectus. In Africa, all this was happening before 50 lakh years ago, from 2 crore years ago. So this Homo erectus, what is the difference between Homo habilis and Homo erectus? Till Homo habilis, the predecessor, the first 2 Homo species, there was no straight posture of body. This spine, this backbone was not straight. It was bent like this. Because of this, only just using hind limbs. It was not for a long time. They were not completely habituated to it. So this was bent in Homo australopithecus and Homo habilis. But in Homo erectus, for the first time, this bent posture became straight. This is called as Homo erectus. So this is the first Homo human ancestor, we can say. So from Homo erectus came after that Homo neanderthalensis. You can just remember these names, and you can imagine that after species, some changes were happening during the evolution. And from Homo neanderthalensis at around 20 lakh years ago to 10,000 years ago, that means after the period of these early human ancestors, where Australopithecus afarensis, where Homo habilis, where Homo erectus were there, and they were already Homo erectus. There was important fact about that. Homo erectus was also even, there were some evidence to say that this African Homo erectus actually tried to migrate to all over the world, and some fossils found in China, some fossils found in Indonesia, and some fossils also found in East Asia. But please important, this is very important, but those section of Homo erectus who migrated to China, India and some other places, they were completely extincted. They could not able to survive there. We don't know the reasons why did they go there actually. From they're actually cohabitants of Homo erectus. A small section went out, but they could not able to survive. Their fossils remained. That's why we know it. So they were not considered normally the Homo species which actually colonized the world. They were not. They were just earlier migrants, but still they extincted. So after Homo erectus, as I have said, around 20 lakh years ago to 10,000 years ago, we saw the emergence from Homo erectus and from Homo neanderthalensis, we saw the emergence of Homo sapiens. So who are these Homo sapiens? What is the difference between Homo erectus, Homo habilis, and Homo sapiens? The main important difference between those and these people are Homo sapiens. Homo sapiens is nothing but wisest being. Brain. Wisest being. Homo sapiens. What is the main other differences between them, predecessors, and this Homo sapiens, which emerged between the period of 20 lakh years ago to 10,000 years ago? Specifically to say around 3,50,000 years ago, this Homo sapiens species evolved from Homo neanderthalensis and Homo erectus. So what is the difference? First, Homo sapiens characteristics are, the first character is Homo sapiens is the first species on this earth which has a character of culture bearing. So please, very important point. Culture bearing. Culture bearing means, you can see the root word of culture is cult. Cult means a group of people living together, a group of people operating together. That is what actually communicating together in some or the other way. There was no language, etc. I will deal these things afterwards. But now let's just restrict ourselves to a smaller view of culture. So just living together. So these are the first species on this earth which changed their mode of living from individualistic to group living. That's why Homo sapiens is the most wisest being, we call so. So if somebody today are saying that I don't want to be with anyone, I want to be isolated, you can just say to them, then you will be disqualified under this Homo sapiens. You will never be wisest being. Please be with everyone. Please be with everyone. Speak with everyone. Love everyone. That's the most fundamental characteristic of us. That's what actually defines us as a human being, as a wisest being. Culture bearing character is actually the fundamental base for our existence. So please never neglect people around you. Speak to them. Love the people. This is the fundamental character from which we evolved. So never forget the roots. Now let's not be emotional and give speeches. Let's come back to restrict ourselves to subject. So when this Homo sapiens got evolved, the first character was culture bearing, as I have said, and the second character, if you see, of Homo sapiens, they were upright walking. They were upright and walking. As I have already told you, Homo erectus, they developed a straight backbone, spine. That's the reason they were upright in their posture. And the third character of this Homo sapiens was, they were completely restricted to terrestrial living organisms. They were living on the ground. Before that, arboreal way of living, chimpanzees, as I have said, just hanging on the trees, jumping here and there. But for the first time, completely terrestrial animal, that is Homo sapiens, got evolved. Yes, animal, don't forget. Now, after 10,000 years ago, till today, if you see, we are called as the modern man. That is Homo sapiens sapiens. So we are the wisest of the wisest beings. Now, so this was the evolution line. So our story started from where? In Africa, Ethiopia, Tanzania and Kenya. Those were the regions where life first started, or human life first started. Now let's see that how human life has spread. Why? What is the main reason that the first evolved human being, who was Homo sapiens, who evolved around 350,000 years ago in Africa, in Tanzania, Ethiopia and in Kenya country regions, why did that human being actually spread? How did he spread? What were the reasons? Why did he came to other parts of the world and colonized? Let's see. Because if they have not come, if they have not migrated from Africa, today we would not have any human being existing in other parts of the world except in Africa. So they migrated. They were the first root people. Only just imagine, there might be only less than 100 individuals in Homo species. For the first time, when they got evolved, only less than 100 people they might be. First number of people. The population of Homo sapiens would be around less than 100. So how did they spread? So this scientific debate has again come up in 1980s. So when this in 1980s, this debate of why did earliest human being, that is the why first Homo sapiens who evolved in Africa migrated to some other parts of the world. Why? What is the reason? In 1980s, this debate has come up. So when this debate has come up, there was a theory. There was a theory which explains the reasons that when the first Homo sapiens started spreading from Africa, that is Tanzania, Ethiopia, and Kenya region, that is North Africa, Northeast Africa, specifically to say. From there, first, where did the human species arrive? And the most important question, that when did first Homo sapiens arrive in India? When did they arrive in India? This was most important question. So a theory was floated, and the first theory, a theory was floated about this explanation. So they said some of the reasons. The first reason, why would they might have migrated? Why would they migrated? See, around now, let's say we are at before 10,000 years ago. I mean, before 10,000 years ago, that is around 20 lakh years ago to 10,000 years ago. Specifically, 3,50,000 years ago, first Homo sapiens have evolved. Now, after some lakhs of years, if you see, by around 1,20,000 years ago from now to around 1 lakh years ago, that means just 1 lakh years ago from now, there was a change again, as I have said, in global climate. There was a change. Now the warmer temperatures which were there actually now started becoming ice ages. After the evolution of humans and the Homo sapiens have evolved, now again ice age have come in a regularity. So when the ice age have come at around 1 lakh years ago to 70,000 years ago from now, that was the period, ice age period. So when this glacial period was there might be huge environmental pressure on those earliest Homo sapiens who were present in Africa. There might be huge pressure on them, maybe for food, etc. So the first reason which floated by most of the scientists as the reason for migration from Africa to other parts of the world first reason is climate change. Because of the glacial period, complete food chain, as I have said, in the glacial period, evaporation rate will be less, rains will be less, because of that vegetation will be less, because the plants are less, herbivores number will be less. Herbivores means those animals which takes food of plants only, so which depend on plants, their number will be lessening, and when that gets lessens, Homo sapiens were actually hunting them and living on them for food. So when global ice age was prevailed, all this food chain was completely in disturbance. So now Homo sapiens were to extinct or to migrate. Only there are two options for them. So they started coming out from Africa region. To escape. So to which direction they should go? Completely, if you see Africa, as I have said, it was completely ocean surrounded. So the only connection Africa has to the rest of the world was to the northeast, that is to the Egypt side. Egypt was connected to West Asia. Very important. In the Israel and Palestine conflict, we have studied, the Middle East, just surrounding the Jerusalem or Israel. We have the countries like Egypt, Jordan, Syria, etc. Yes, remember in the first class, just the same area. So Egypt was the only route through which these Homo sapiens have to come out. So by this logic, when this around 70,000 years ago, when this ice age was prevailed, when environmental conditions were too pressurized, first Homo sapiens have come out, some section of the Homo sapiens have come out through the northeast route of Africa, and they entered West Asia. So by this logic, humans first started in Africa. After that, they colonized West Asia. Till then, there were no humans in India, in Australia, in China, in Russia, in Europe, in America. There were no humans. only in West Asia. They have come to there. This was the one reason. Climate change might be the reason. This was one reason. Another reason floated was, as I have said, these Homo sapiens were actually depending on whom for their food? Herbivores. So normally herbivores needs what? Pastures, green pastures. So when this ice age was prevailing, vegetation content will be less. So naturally these herds, these animals will go in search of their food to the other parts of the world. So when these heads of animals move out of the Africa, along with them at 70,000 years ago from now, might be Homo sapiens also got migrated from Africa. This was the second reason floated. And the third most important reason, which was floated by scientists in 1980s about why first Homo sapiens migrated, was that this is the common human behavior to encroach the neighboring lands. Yes, that was the main character of human beings. That means to go out, to explore, because they are wisest beings. They want to colonize the neighborhood. They want to encroach the land. Their primary characteristic, that might be the reason. Just for exploration purpose, they might have come out of Africa and reached other parts of the world. So these were some of the different reasons they floated. But the conclusion was that at around 1 lakh to 70,000 years ago from now, these Homo sapiens, which were residing only in Africa till then, were started coming out of Africa and colonizing West Asia. Till West Asia. Just stop there, I will explain after that. Now, next question comes, very important question. Here actually our second half of the lecture will start. Very second half. Qualitatively I am speaking, not quantitatively. Qualitatively it is second half. When did India receive Homo sapiens species for the first time? When did our motherland, our geographical land was waiting to receive Homo sapiens for the first time? Who were the first settlers of India? When did they first come to India? This was a very important question we have to understand. So as I have said, at around 70,000 years ago, humans, there was a study also along the Nile River, because they have to cross Nile River and come into West Asia via Egypt. So along the Nile River, there was a research happened which found out the fossils which were around 70,000 years ago. So they counted the fossils and they checked the DNA of them. They found that around 500 to 1000 Homo sapiens individuals actually crossed the Egypt. That was the study found. So this tells that at around 70,000 years ago, yes, Homo sapiens for the first time migrated to other parts of the world. Now, coming to India. See, when did these Homo sapiens come to India? On this, there were two versions. Scientific community was divided into two. There were two versions. One is earlier version and another one is later version. So first, traditionally we discuss the earlier version. What was the earlier version was, some section of the scientists have given evidence and they proved that before 70,000 years ago itself, that means only at 70,000 years ago, these Homo sapiens were evolved and migrated to other parts of the world as the theories were floated. These are saying no. Before 70,000 years ago itself, at around 1 lakh years ago, South Asia, we were already having Homo sapiens species, residing and habitating in this geographical land. This is what the earlier version. That means before 70,000 itself, we were having the Homo sapiens. This is what the earliest version. So what were the evidence? We will discuss. Now before that, we will discuss what is latter version. See, latter version scientist says, the scientific community says, no, before 70,000 years ago, there was no human species in our geographical land, that is South Asia. We only received Homo sapiens after 60,000 years ago from now. Before 70,000 there was no human beings. Only after 60,000 years ago we have Homo sapiens in our South Asia. This was the latter version. And earlier version also said that before 70,000 they came along with middle stone tools. They said middle stone age tools. What are middle stone age tools? They were like points, they were like scrapers, very old tools. This is the earlier version. Because they found earlier very old tools, they said that might be Homo sapiens were residing before 70,000 years ago itself. But the latter version scientist says that no, we were only having the oldest fossils of tools which were belonged to microlithic, that means microlithic stone age tools. They were not middle stone age tools. Micro stone age tool means they were a little sophisticated because they were younger to them after 60,000 years ago, like arrows, like spears. So this is what the latter version. So on a simple crux to say, earlier version says that always, before 70,000 itself we were having human species. Latter version is saying that no, only after African migration has started, after 60,000 years ago we received the Homo sapiens. This is what the latter version. So arguments are okay to listen, but science will not work like that. Science needs facts and evidence. So let's discuss what is the evidence in support of earlier version. Okay, first evidence. Earlier version, what is that? Before 70,000 itself, and they have come, and another point was middle stone age tools were always kept with them when they were coming. So the first evidence in support of earlier version is in Southeast Asia. That means if you see in Southeast Asia, after our India, if you go to Myanmar, after that you will go to Thailand, Cambodia, Phnom Penh, Cambodia. Then after that you will see Laos. These were the countries of Southeast Asia. We have Indonesia, Malaysia, etc., Singapore. That means to reach Southeast Asia, the logic here is to reach Southeast Asia, a man has to first cross through South Asia. An African, actually Homo sapiens evolved in Africa, so they have to first cross through South Asia to reach Southeast Asia. Now scientists started finding the oldest fossil of Southeast Asia, because if you know the oldest fossil of Southeast Asia, that means before that itself we would already having the Homo sapiens species. That was the conclusion. So they started excavating the fossils in Southeast Asia. They found the oldest fossil in complete Southeast Asia was around 60,000 years ago. Around 60,000 years ago. That means before 60,000 years ago itself, human species were already settling and habitating in India, because they have to cross India to reach there. So before that itself, India was having the Homo sapiens. So it is in support of earlier version. This scientific community was too happy because they said truth. Second evidence in favor of this was, see, in Cambridge University there were two professors who did some research. Professor Corey Setter, he is the one person, and Professor Michael is the second person. And there is some tail name to him, I forgot it. So Professor Corey Setter and Professor Michael, these were the two scientists who are working on this concept in support of earlier version. So interestingly, what they found was, please listen, this is very important, because especially most of us are Telugu people, this is very important. Listen. In Andhra Pradesh, there was a site, archaeological site called as Jwalapuram. So this Jwalapuram was actually besides the river valley of Jurreru river valley. Jurreru is actually a river in Andhra Pradesh, and besides this Jurreru river valley, there was an archaeological site called Jwalapuram, very important archaeological site. Why I am speaking about that? Let me tell you. See, already there is a scientific evidence that in around 70,000 years ago, there was a huge volcanic eruption happened in Indonesia. Please listen very carefully. What is the connection between that and this? You will understand. So in Indonesia, there was at Sumatra region, there was a huge volcanic eruption happened at around 70,000 years ago. We have complete evidence to that, seismic evidence. So that volcanic eruption was named as Toba eruption. Very important, Toba eruption. So all the scientific community, this latter version people and earlier version people know this. So at 70,000 years ago, as a as a checkpoint in our timeline, because around that the complete debate was going on, whether before that or after that. So we have some clue in the world geological history that this Toba eruption was too huge, was too destructive to such an extent that the ash of this volcanic eruption, which was happened in Indonesian Sumatra, that ash was completely exploded and that volcanic ash was spread over even India. So please listen, over some thousands of kilometers, that ash was spread. So that was the biggest volcanic eruption happened at around 70,000 years ago. So these people, as I have said, Professor Kori Settar and Professor Michael, they went to this Jwalapuram site and they started digging. They started digging the river valley of that Zurreru river valley, excavating. Why? See, normally the logic is all the river valleys will normally be formed layer by layer. If you see dig on the side of river, you will see very neatly layer by layer. So normally they are actually in search of that ash material, because very clearly we know that ash was belonging to 70,000 years ago from now. So they started digging the layers of this Zurreru river valley, and they reached a point where that ash was found. Already it was established. That's the reason they went there. So that ash was found at some particular depth. Let's imagine, some 5 meters from the surface. And now these two people started digging further. See, just imagine, the logic here is that whatever the fossils which will be found below the layer of this ash layer are actually older than this, because geological layers, how they will form? First older layer, after that again one layer will form. That means the bottom layer will be older than the upper layer. That's the logic here. So this Zurreru river valley, after they got the ash layer of that volcanic eruption, which was belonging to 70,000 years ago, they started still digging further, and very interestingly at the bottom layers, they found Middle Stone Age tools. Very important. Shocking to these two researchers. So Middle Stone Age tools, that means actually there were people before that volcanic eruption happened in India who were using Middle Stone Age tools. That was the indication that we have. Yes or no? As scientists, they have that evidence now. They established that evidence. So they said, yes, before 70,000 years ago, before the Toba eruption itself, there were humans residing in India and they were using Middle Stone Age tools. That means in support of earlier version. This was happened, and lot of earlier version scientists were still more happy because a very archaeological strong evidence was found. Now came some different scientists after 1800s, when the genes technology has come up. When this gene technology has come up, they started genome sequencing. Very modern scientists, they started genome sequencing. And everybody know that a male person is having XY chromosomes and a female person will have XX chromosome. So this Y portion of male is actually of Y. Yes or no? Actually of male oriented chromosome. So they take from males, they take this Y part of the DNA, and from the females they take either the X part of the DNA or mitochondrial DNA. If you don't know these terms, just listen. Any of that, mitochondrial DNA is actually the exact representation of female DNA. That's the reason they normally take for medical explorations. So this group of scientists started collecting these genes, and they started matching each other in time back. For example, they took Americans some females and males genes, Asians some females and males genes. Like that, in South Asia also they took some males and females genes and they started tracing back to found their common ancestor. So when they get common ancestor, normally they will get the time when they would have come. That's the actual objective. So when they started this genome sequencing, they found very interestingly the common ancestor of complete South Asia. Very important, sir. Please listen. The common ancestor of complete South Asia was not before 70,000 years ago. Not before. That means before 70,000 years ago, there were no genes existing to match with. There was no genes, existing to match with the present genes. That means they concluded that yes, definitely, certainly, the human species was there existing in South Asia only after 70,000 years ago, but before that, there were no humans on this South Asia region. This is what they concluded with gene technology. So still there was no complete conclusion that when this question of when did this human species have come, but who did come first, that will always have a sure answer that first Homo sapiens started from Africa. They came to West Asian region and they occupied the Eurasia, complete Eurasia region like Turkey, Russian region, China region, etc. After that, they came to South Asia. Then they went to Southeast Asia. After that, they went to Australia. Australia was the last one. And then the most recently, at around 45,000 years ago from now, most recently they colonized the Europe continent. Homo sapiens colonized the Europe continent. So Europe continent was very lately colonized. Africa was first colonized by humans. After that, West Asia. After that, Eurasia. After that, South Asia. Then they went to Australia, Southeast Asia. Then Australia. Then Europe. So this was the spread of humans. In Africa, they evolved. From there, they came to West Asia. From West Asia, they went to Eurasia, one branch, and another branch came to South Asia. And from South Asia, another branch went to Southeast Asia. From Southeast Asia, another branch went to Australia. And this Eurasian branch which was there, that latter went to Europe. So this is how all the continents of the world were colonized by human species. So by 35,000 years ago, if you see, by 35,000 years ago, from now if you see, almost in every continent, Homo sapiens were spread. Homo sapiens were spread. That means in our India, if you see, the most oldest fossil that we have found is at around 60,000 years ago from now. That is in Sri Lanka. In Sri Lanka, there is a cave called as Pha Hien. Phien. So this Pha Hien cave, actually Sri Lanka was attached to India at around this 50-60,000 years ago from now. It was attached to India, but after that it got separated from India, detached. But actually it was contiguous with Indian land. That's the reason I'm saying in that cave, Pha Hien cave, we found the earliest human fossil in India at around 60,000 years ago, and that we consider as the starting. Sir, this is very important point. After 60,000 years ago or at 60,000 years ago, partial conclusion, not still complete concrete evidence was not there, but partially around 60% it was correct, concluded that after 60,000 years ago from now only human species existed in India, that is South Asia, specifically India. Before that, there were no human species on this land. So first human species started in India, residing, settling, who came from Africa, who started from Africa, traveled through Middle East, traveled through West Asia, and they came to South Asia. And that Homo sapiens species who first resided, who first settled in India, was from 60,000 years ago from now. And here, this point in timeline, 60,000 years ago, starts. our prehistory of India. Because before that, Homo sapiens were not there. So there was no history to tell. History is about human-centric history. If there are no human, there is no history. For Antarctica, there is no history. For Arctic, there is no Arctic Circle, there is no history. Only for continents we have history, because human is the center of history. That's where, after 60,000 years ago from now, humans started residing in India, and that's where we start this Stone Age man of India, and that we call as that period from 60,000 years ago to around 10,000 years ago. We call this period as prehistory of India. So now we are introduced into the direct topic of Indian history, that is the prehistory of India. So from next class we are going to discuss Indian history in direct mode. Till now, all this information from universe creation to till now, this was actually not important for history. There was no need to study these things for history, but I purposefully explained this because if you don't know how first humans evolved, how first universe evolved, you cannot reach to a stage where you can appreciate human life. You cannot reach to a state of mind where you can really appreciate human species, human culture, all the inventions, that social inventions which after that happens. We will discuss in our coming lectures. You cannot appreciate them only if you have this backup in your mind, that how our earth has underwent a lot of pressure, a lot of evolutionary pregnancy to deliver this human species. We should always be show gratitude to that. So please don't never think that you are greater than anything on this earth. No, you are just a human being. We are just human beings. Our mother earth actually has a lot of history than you and me. It has a lot of some crore billions of history. This is what we have discussed, right? That's why we have to protect our earth. That's why we have to protect our atmosphere. That's why we have to protect our hydrosphere. If you are today polluting your rivers around, if you are polluting the air which is around just for the sake of shortest benefits of transportation, shortest benefits of chemical industries, shortest benefits of lot many factories, that means you are actually backstabbing yourself. You are backstabbing your humanity itself, because this atmosphere, this hydrosphere, this lithosphere, please, the usage of plastic was even polluting the lithosphere. Please understand, these were formed on the earth after some billions and millions of lot of pains, lot of changes, lot of evolutionary changes they have formed. Who have given you the right to exploit them like anything? Who have given you the right? You just create one handful of soil. I will see. Can you create one handful of soil? 1 centimeter layer of the soil to form, it takes around 1,000 years. Sir, please understand, 1,000 years for 1 centimeter layer of the soil to form, it takes. How can you just mine and mine just like that? How can you mine and how can you defertilize soil with the usage of chemicals completely, without any rational thinking, irrationally using the fertilizers? How can you do that? This is what nature is. This is what the mental pregnancy, physical labor pain that Mother Earth has gone through. This 4.6 billion years of journey of Mother Earth to create this animal, to create this Homo sapien animal. Mother Earth has gone lot many evolutionary changes. So please respect humans. This is why you should respect humans. Humans are the most wisest organisms which were evolved out of lot many different chain of evolutions. you did not have, you did not get these two hands, this, separated free fingers like this. There were a lot many species which have no this free fingering, which were not having that facility. You are having today mouth, you are having today eyes, you are having today all the organs which were ready made, developed in your mother's womb. That those organs were actually not present once. So respect the disabled people. If they are specially able people, if they're born without certain able organ, respect them. Give your hand, extend your helping hand to them, because they fortunately they have all organs, but they could not have. It's their unfortunate fate. So please respect the earth, please respect the nature, please respect the humans, please respect the animals, because from there you came. Never forget the animals, from there you came. You were once a fish, you were once a chimpanzee, you were once a gorilla, now became you human. So never look down upon your ancestors, never you look down upon your predecessors. Respect them, have respect towards them. That's how we humans will, that's maybe the future way ahead. If you go on exploiting nature, if you go on exploiting humans, if you go on exploiting animals and everything on this earth, that means you are backstabbing yourself. Maybe your life is 100 years, earth's life is 4.6 billion years, sir. Just imagine. This is what nature is. So we have discussed from 13.7 billion years ago of universe Big Bang theory to the modern man who came to India and landed in our Indian mass at 60,000 years ago. And from here we will discuss as a part of prehistory of India from next lectures. And before closing down the lecture, let me tell you two important things. One thing is, please do comment if you have any queries. If you have any queries, please do comment, so that I will see the questions and I will try. I am not assuring you I will try to answer you. If not, I will research and answer you. And you can please feel free to comment whatever the opinions that you have to maybe modify the way of explanations, etc. And another second point was that below I will attach in the description and even in the comments box, I will attach the handwritten material for this class. So please go through that and please study well. Never discourage yourself. These are the times of testing. Pandemic is not only for you. Pandemic, pan is nothing but complete. So it is for everyone. The problem is there for everyone. It is not only for you to close your books down and just having your mobile and seeing in the in internet portals all the shows and everything. Do that. At the same time, do some qualitative productive learning also. That will only help you, that will only benefit you, and in turn it will help to everyone around you. So this is what our today's lecture is. That is, how did modern man evolve, and who and when first landed in Earth, in India. So now we are at 60,000 years ago. Let's start our discussion in the next weekend. Till then, see you all. Thank you.